The massive crystalline space station known as Nexus Prime hung in the inky void, its faceted surfaces refracting the intense light of the nearby neutron star. The station's design was a marvel of alien engineering, with each of its countless surfaces serving as both an observatory and a solar panel, harnessing the incredible energy of the dead star. It was here, in this testament to the advanced civilizations of the galaxy, that the fate of humanity would be decided. Inside the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered. The chamber itself was a wonder, with holographic displays showing the cosmic dance of stars and planets, and anti-gravity platforms allowing species of all forms to comfortably attend. The cacophony of translated voices filled the air as the latest topic of debate was announced: Earth's petition for membership in the galactic community. The human delegation stood on a central platform, a diverse group that showcased the variety of their species. Dr. Amelia Chen, a renowned astrophysicist, led the group with her calm demeanor and sharp intellect. Beside her stood General Marcus Stone, his military bearing a stark contrast to the flowing robes and tentacles of the alien diplomats around him. Zara Okonkwo, a brilliant young engineer, fidgeted nervously, her eyes darting from one alien face to another in barely concealed wonder. But it was the final member of their group that drew the most curious stares and whispered comments. Kai Nguyen, a lanky teenager with a mop of unruly hair, seemed entirely out of place among the dignitaries. He had won a global essay contest on humanity's place in the cosmos, and his prize was to join the delegation. Now, faced with the reality of alien life, he struggled to maintain his composure. As the humans took their place, a ripple of murmurs swept through the chamber. Many of the alien representatives wore expressions of disdain or amusement, clearly unimpressed by the primitive beings before them. High Counselor Zix Terra, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, called for order. Her voice, translated through the chamber's advanced systems, rang out clearly. We now hear the petition of the species known as humans, from the planet designated as Earth. They seek membership in our galactic community. Who speaks for Earth? Dr. Chen stepped forward, her voice steady as she addressed the assembly. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we come before you as representatives of humanity. We may be young in the cosmic scale, but we believe we have much to offer. Our history is one of rapid advancement, of overcoming adversity, and of endless curiosity about the universe around us. Before she could continue, a harsh laugh interrupted her. Counselor Drakthor, a massive insectoid creature, clicked his mandibles in derision. Rapid advancement. Your species has barely mastered interplanetary travel. What could you possibly offer to civilizations that have spanned the stars for millennia? General Stone bristled at the insult, but Dr. Chen placed a calming hand on his arm. She smiled diplomatically and replied, It is precisely our youth and fresh perspective that we offer. We have solved problems in unique ways, developed technologies that even surprised ourselves. We seek to learn, but also to contribute. Another voice chimed in, smoother and more intriguing than the harsh tones of Drakthor. Now, let's not be too hasty in our judgments. All eyes turned to Counselor Lurax, a charismatic Alfaxi known for his silver tongue and political maneuvering. His iridescent scales shimmered as he moved, captivating the attention of the chamber. These humans, Lurax continued, his voice a mellifluous purr, while undoubtedly primitive, have shown a remarkable tenacity. Did they not survive their own penchant for self-destruction? Did they not pull themselves from the brink of climate collapse? Perhaps there's more to them than meets the eye, or eyes, in some of our cases. A ripple of laughter spread through the chamber at his joke. Kai, the teenage contest winner, felt a surge of pride at Lurax's words. He straightened up, trying to look as dignified as possible. But as he did so, he accidentally bumped into Zara, causing her to stumble. More laughter erupted from the alien delegates, and Kai felt his face burn with embarrassment. Counselor Drakthor seized on this moment of clumsiness. You see, they can barely control their own bodies, let alone contribute to galactic society. I move that we deny their petition and place their system under observation for another century, at least." A chorus of agreements rose from various factions, and Dr. Chen felt their chants slipping away. She opened her mouth to object, but before she could speak, chaos erupted. Warning klaxons blared throughout the chamber as the station shuddered violently. The artificial gravity fluctuated wildly, causing panic among the assembled delegates. Many alien species, accustomed to the stability of their advanced technology, found themselves completely unprepared for such a failure. In the midst of the chaos, the human delegation sprang into action with surprising coordination. General Stone's military training kicked in as he bellowed orders, organizing their response. Chen, Okonkwo, helped secure the anti-grav platforms. Kai, with me. Dr. Chen and Zara moved swiftly, their experience with Earth's variable gravity giving them an edge. They helped stabilize several platforms, preventing delegates from floating away into the cavernous chamber. Meanwhile, General Stone and Kai pushed off from their platform, using the zero gravity to their advantage. They soared across the chamber towards a group of jellyfish-like aliens who were tangled in their own tentacles, unable to orient themselves. "Remember your zero training, kid," Stone growled as they approached the distressed aliens. Kai nodded, surprising himself with how quickly he adapted to the lack of gravity. Together, they helped untangle the aliens and guided them to a secure location. Across the chamber, other humans who had accompanied the delegation as support staff showcased similar adaptability. They moved with purpose, rescuing stranded delegates and securing loose objects that had become dangerous projectiles in the zero-gravity environment. As the emergency system slowly kicked in, restoring partial gravity, the chamber settled into a stunned silence. The alien delegates watched in amazement as the humans efficiently managed the crisis, displaying a level of adaptability and quick thinking that caught everyone off guard. High Counselor Zixtera's voice crackled through the recovering communication systems. "It seems we may have underestimated our human guests. In the face of unexpected danger, they have shown admirable courage and resourcefulness." Counselor Lerax, who had managed to maintain his composure throughout the ordeal, smiled slyly. "Indeed, High Counselor, it appears these humans have a unique ability to thrive in chaos. A useful trait, wouldn't you agree, Counselor Drakthor?" The insectoid alien clicked his mandibles in irritation but remained silent. As the human delegation regrouped on their platform, they could feel the shift in the chamber's atmosphere. The looks of disdain had been replaced by curious glances and thoughtful murmurs. Dr. Chen seized the moment, stepping forward once again to address the council. "Esteemed delegates, what you've just witnessed is but a small example of humanity's potential. We may not have the most advanced technology or the longest history among the stars, but we adapt. We overcome. We face the unknown with determination and ingenuity. It is this spirit that we offer to the galactic community." The chamber buzzed with discussion as the council members conferred among themselves. High Counselor Zixtera raised her crystalline form, bringing the room to order. "In light of recent events, I propose we extend the hearing for Earth's petition. It seems there is more to discuss regarding humanity's potential membership." As agreements echoed through the chamber, the human delegation shared relieved looks. They had passed the first test, turning a potential disaster into an opportunity to showcase their strengths. But Kai, still catching his breath from the zero-gravity rescue, couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a much greater challenge. Little did they know, high above the council chamber, hidden eyes had been watching the entire incident unfold. In the shadows of Nexus Prime's upper levels, mysterious figures whispered among themselves, their interest in the humans growing with each passing moment. The game was afoot, and humanity had unwittingly played its first hand in a cosmic gambit that would shape the fate of the galaxy. Whispers of Omega. The aftermath of the gravity failure left Nexus Prime buzzing with activity. Maintenance drones swarmed through the station's crystalline corridors, repairing damaged systems and recalibrating the artificial gravity. In the Grand Chamber, the Galactic Council had called for a recess, allowing delegates to recover from the ordeal and assess the situation. Dr. Amelia Chen stood with her team in a quiet alcove, their faces a mix of relief and tension. "Well," she said, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face, "that was certainly not how I expected our introduction to go." General Stone grunted, his military posture relaxed slightly. "Could have been worse. At least now they're paying attention to us." Zara Okonkwo, the young engineer, was practically vibrating with excitement. "Did you see their faces? When we started helping everyone, I thought that jellyfish alien was going to float right out of its environmental suit." Kai, still trying to process everything that had happened, simply nodded. His mind was racing, replaying the events of the past hour. Something nagged at him, a detail he couldn't quite place. Before he could voice his thoughts, a smooth voice interrupted them. "Quite an impressive display, humans." Counselor Lirax approached, his iridescent scales shimmering under the chamber's lights. "One might almost think you had anticipated such an event." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her diplomat's smile firmly in place. "Not at all, Counselor. We simply responded as any of our people would in a crisis." Lirax's multifaceted eyes seemed to gleam with amusement. Of course. Still, one can't help but wonder what other surprises your species might have in store. There are whispers, whispers of something called Omega." The reaction from the human delegation was subtle but noticeable. General Stone's jaw tightened, Zora's eyes widened slightly, and Dr. Chen's smile became a fraction more forced. Only Kai seemed genuinely confused by the mention. "I'm afraid I don't know what you're referring to, Counselor," Dr. Chen replied smoothly. "Perhaps a misunderstanding in translation." Lirax chuckled, a sound like tinkling crystals. "Perhaps. Or perhaps there are depths to humanity that even the Council has yet to fathom. Either way, I look forward to learning more about your species." With a graceful nod, he glided away, leaving a wake of whispers among nearby delegates. As soon as Lirax was out of earshot, General Stone turned to Dr. Chen. "How the hell did he hear about Omega? That's top-level classified information." Dr. Chen shook her head, her brow furrowed. "I don't know, but this complicates things. We need to be careful about." Excuse me," Kai interrupted, his voice uncertain. "But what's Omega? Is it some kind of weapon?" The adults exchanged glances, seemingly having forgotten the teenager's presence. After a moment of silent communication, Dr. Chen sighed. "It's complicated, Kai, and not something we can discuss here. Just know that it's very important and very secret." Kai nodded, but his mind was already racing with possibilities. A secret weapon, a hidden technology. Whatever Omega was, it was clear that it could change the balance of power in the galaxy. As the Council prepared to reconvene, rumors spread like wildfire through the station. Delegates from 100 worlds whispered to each other, speculating about the humans and their mysterious Omega. Some spoke of a doomsday device capable of destroying entire star systems. Others claimed it was a form of mind control that could enslave entire species. The more outlandish the theory, the faster it seemed to spread. In a shadowy corner of the station's promenade, a group of hooded figures huddled together, their voices low and urgent. "The humans cannot be allowed to retain control of Omega," one hissed, its voice like grinding stone. "We must acquire it for the good of the galaxy." Another figure, taller and more sinuous, replied, "But how? We don't even know what it is, let alone where they're keeping it." The first speaker turned, revealing a face covered in bioluminescent markings. "We start with the weakest link, the boy. He's not a diplomat or a soldier. He'll be easier to persuade." Back in the Grand Chamber, the council session had resumed. High Counselor Zixtera's crystalline form pulsed with energy as she addressed the assembly. "In light of recent events, we will now hear additional testimony regarding Earth's petition for membership. However, we must also address the rumors that have been circulating." She turned her attention to the human delegation. Representatives of Earth, there have been whispers of something called Omega. The Council would appreciate any information you can provide on this matter. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her face a mask of calm. High Counselor, esteemed delegates, I assure you that Earth has no secret weapons or hidden agendas. We come before you in a spirit of openness and cooperation. These rumors are just that, baseless speculation. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Counselor Drakthor's mandibles clicked rapidly as he spoke, and yet you reacted to the mere mention of this Omega. Are we to believe that was mere coincidence? Before Dr. Chen could respond, the chamber's lights flickered ominously. The holographic displays showing the cosmic dance outside the station warped and distorted. For a moment, every being in the room felt a sense of vertigo, as if reality itself was bending around them. As quickly as it began, the disturbance passed. The chamber erupted in confused chatter, with delegates demanding explanations and assurances of safety. High Counselor Zixtera's voice cut through the chaos. Silence. We will have order. As the room quieted, she continued, clearly, there are forces at work here that we do not yet understand. I propose we adjourn for the day and reconvene once a full investigation has been conducted. As the delegates began to file out, Kai noticed a strange shimmer in the air near one of the exits. For a split second, he thought he saw a figure, humanoid but definitely not human, watching their group intently. He blinked, and the figure was gone. Did you see that? He whispered to Zara, but the engineer was deep in conversation with Dr. Chen and didn't hear him. Kai shook his head, trying to clear it. The stress must be getting to him. As they made their way back to their assigned quarters, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. In their quarters, the human delegation gathered for an emergency meeting. General Stone paced the room, his face grim. This is a disaster. If the Council finds out about Omega before we're ready, it could jeopardize everything we've worked for. Dr. Chen nodded, her usual composure showing cracks. We need to find out how this information leaked, and we need to decide how much to reveal, if it comes to that. Zara, who had been unusually quiet, spoke up. Maybe we should tell them the truth, about Omega, about everything. Isn't that why we're here? To join the galactic community. The room fell silent as the adults considered her words. Kai, feeling out of his depth but unable to stay quiet any longer, added, I don't know what Omega is, but if it's as important as it seems, shouldn't we be honest about it? Isn't that what my essay was about? Humanity's potential to bring something new to the galaxy. General Stone opened his mouth to argue, but a soft chime interrupted him. A holographic message flickered to life in the center of the room. The text, written in an alien script that somehow translated itself as they watched, sent a chill through everyone present. We, ABOTO MEGA. Meet us in Docking Bay 7, in 1 HOR. Come alone, human child, or your world will see you. As the message faded, all eyes turned to Kai, the young essay contest winner, who had dreamed of seeing the wonders of the galaxy, now found himself at the center of a cosmic conspiracy that threatened not just Earth's future, but perhaps the fate of the entire Galactic Council. The whispers of Omega had become a roar, and the next move would determine the course of human history among the stars. Chaos unleashed. The tension in Nexus Prime had reached a fever pitch. Kai's would-be kidnappers had been thwarted, but the incident had only served to deepen the mystery surrounding the humans and their secretive Omega project. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with nervous energy as delegates from across the cosmos gathered once more, their eyes fixed on the human delegation with a mixture of fear, curiosity, and suspicion. High Counselor Zixtera's crystalline form pulsed with an urgent light as she called the session to order. Delegates, we face an unprecedented situation. The attempted abduction of a human representative cannot go unaddressed. We must. Her words were cut short by a deafening boom that shook the entire station. Warning klaxons blared as the chamber's holographic displays flickered and died, plunging the room into semi-darkness. Panic erupted among the delegates as they scrambled for answers. Suddenly, the main view screen crackled to life, revealing a sight that sent shockwaves of fear through the assembly. A massive dreadnought had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, its sleek, black hull absorbing light like a cosmic predator. Its design was unlike anything the Council had ever seen, a perfect fusion of organic curves and razor-sharp angles. A voice, deep and resonant, boomed through the chamber speakers. "Attention, Galactic Council. We are the Void Imperium, and we have come for what is ours." Dr. Chen exchanged alarmed glances with General Stone. This was not part of any plan they had prepared for. The general's hand instinctively moved to where his sidearm would be, had weapons been allowed in the council chamber. The voice continued, its tone dripping with menace. "You harbor a weapon of immense power, the one you call Omega. Surrender it to us immediately, or we will reduce this station and all aboard to cosmic dust." Chaos erupted in the chamber. Delegates shouted accusations, some demanding the humans explain themselves, others calling for immediate surrender to save their lives. Councillor Drakthor's mandibles clacked furiously as he pointed at the human delegation. "You see, they have brought destruction upon us all. Arrest them." High Councillor Zixtera's voice cut through the pandemonium. "Silence. We must not give in to panic. Humans, you must tell us now. What is Omega, and why do these aggressors believe you possess it?" All eyes turned to Dr. Chen. She stood tall, her composure a stark contrast to the chaos around her. "High Counselor, esteemed delegates, I assure you that we have no weapon called Omega. This is clearly a misunderstanding, or perhaps a ploy by these attackers to sow discord among us." Before she could continue, the chamber shook again as the station absorbed another impact. The Void Imperium's voice returned, more threatening than before. "Your lies will not save you. We know Omega is here. You have 1 standard hour to surrender it, or we will take it by force." The view screen went dark, leaving the council in a state of stunned silence. It was Kai who broke it, his young voice cutting through the tension. "But if we don't have this Omega thing, how can we give it to them?" His innocent question seemed to snap the delegates out of their shock. Arguments erupted once more, with various factions calling for different courses of action. Some wanted to evacuate immediately, others insisted on standing their ground. A few even suggested handing over the humans to appease the attackers. Amidst the arguing, Zura noticed something odd. She tugged on Dr. Chen's sleeve, whispering urgently, "Doctor, look at the Alfaxi delegation. Doesn't Councillor Lyrax seem calm? Too calm?" Dr. Chen's eyes narrowed as she observed the iridescent alien. Indeed, while chaos reigned around him, Lyrax appeared almost smug. Their eyes met for a brief moment, and the Alfaxi's lips curled into what could only be described as a knowing smirk. Before she could ponder this further, General Stone's gruff voice cut through her thoughts. "Doc, we need to make a decision. If these Void Imperium folks are serious, we're all in deep trouble. Maybe it's time we—" He trailed off, but Dr. Chen knew what he was suggesting. She shook her head firmly. "Not yet. We don't know enough about the situation. If we reveal that now, there's no telling how the Council or these attackers will react." As if on cue, the chamber's emergency blast doors slammed shut with a resounding clang. High Councillor Zixtera's voice, tinged with static, echoed through the room. "Delegates, for your safety, we are initiating lockdown procedures. Please remain calm and—" Her words were drowned out by a series of explosions that rocked the station. The lights flickered ominously, and, for a heart-stopping moment, the artificial gravity wavered. Screams and shouts filled the air as delegates were tossed about. In the confusion, Kai felt a hand grasp his arm. He turned, expecting to see one of his fellow humans, but instead found himself face to face with a hooded figure. The being's face was hidden in shadow, but its grip was like iron. "You will come with us, human child," a voice hissed, barely audible above the chaos. "You know the secret of Omega, whether you realize it or not." Kai struggled, trying to call out to his teammates, but his voice was lost in the pandemonium. Just as he felt himself being dragged away, a blur of motion caught his eye. Zara, her face set in determination, launched herself through the air, taking advantage of the fluctuating gravity. Her foot connected solidly with the hooded figure's midsection, sending both it and Kai tumbling. As they hit the ground, the figure's hood fell back, revealing a face that made Kai's blood run cold. It was like looking at a living shadow, with eyes that seemed to swallow light. "Voidborn!" Someone screamed, and a new wave of panic swept through the chamber. The shadowy being hissed in frustration, releasing Kai, and seeming to melt into the darkness between one blink and the next. Zara helped Kai to his feet, her eyes wide with shock. "Are you okay? What was that thing?" Before Kai could answer, Dr. Chen and General Stone fought their way through the crowd to reach them. The general's face was grim as he surveyed the chaos around them. "This is bad. If the Voidborn are involved, this is bigger than we thought." Dr. Chen nodded, her usual composure showing cracks. "We need to get out of here. Find somewhere secure where we can regroup and figure out our next move." As they began to make their way through the panicked crowd, a new sound cut through the din. It was a high-pitched whine, rapidly increasing in intensity. The humans recognized it immediately, their faces paling. "Everyone down," General Stone bellowed, pulling his team to the floor. A blinding flash filled the chamber, accompanied by an electromagnetic pulse that fried every piece of technology not specifically shielded against such an attack. As the light faded and delegates began to pick themselves up, a new sight greeted them. Standing at the center of the chamber, where moments ago there had been nothing, was a figure in sleek, form-fitting armor. Its design was clearly of human origin, but far beyond anything the council races had seen before. The armor seemed to shift and flow, adapting to its environment in real time. The figure's helmet retracted, revealing a face that was both familiar and strange. It was human, yet more than human. Eyes that glowed with an inner light surveyed the room, taking in the scene of destruction and chaos. When it spoke, its voice carried an authority that silenced even the most panicked delegates. "I am Omega, and I'm here to stop this war before it begins." The chamber fell into a stunned silence as humans and aliens alike tried to process what they were seeing. In that moment of quiet, the distant sound of hull breaches and weapons fire served as a grim reminder that while one mystery had been solved, the battle for Nexus Prime, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy, was only just beginning. Omega revealed. The Galactic Council chamber, once a bastion of order and diplomacy, now resembled a war zone. Debris floated in the fluctuating gravity, and the acrid smell of fried circuitry filled the air. At the center of it all stood Omega, the human super soldier that had been the subject of so much speculation and fear. As the stunned silence gave way to a cacophony of voices, Dr. Chen stepped forward, her face a mix of relief and apprehension. "Omega, we weren't expecting. I mean, your presence here wasn't part of the plan." The armored figure turned to her, its glowing eyes softening slightly. "Plans change, Doctor." The Void Imperium forced our hand. General Stone pushed through the crowd, his military training evident in his stance despite the chaos around them. "Citrip, soldier, what's our status?" Omega's voice carried a strange resonance as it replied. "The station's outer defenses are holding, but barely. The Void Imperium's dreadnought is employing technology we've never seen before. It's as if they can bend space itself to their will." A shrill voice cut through the conversation. "What is the meaning of this?" Counselor Drac Thor chittered, his mandibles quivering with a mixture of fear and rage. "You humans have brought war to our doorstep. Your Omega is the very weapon the attackers seek. High Counselor Zixtera's crystalline form pulsed with an urgent light. Humans, you owe us an explanation. Now, Dr. Chen took a deep breath, exchanging glances with her team before addressing the council. Esteemed delegates, Omega is not a weapon. At least not in the way you think. It's a project, a culmination of humanity's efforts to unlock our full potential. Omega's armor shifted, adapting to the environment around it. I am the result of a synthesis between human consciousness and advanced technology. But I am not one individual. I am many. As if on cue, the armor began to change. It flowed like liquid metal, splitting and reforming until three figures stood where one had been before. Each was clad in a variation of the original armor, their features distinct yet somehow familiar. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the chamber. Kai's eyes widened in recognition. Wait, you're us, or versions of us. The Omega that resembled an older, more battle-hardened Kai nodded. In a manner of speaking, yes, we are possible futures, potential versions of humanity given form through a combination of predictive AI, quantum entanglement, and human ingenuity. Zera's counterpart, her armor integrating complex technological interfaces, continued the explanation. We exist in a state of quantum superposition, able to adapt and change based on the needs of the moment. We are humanity's ultimate expression of adaptability. The third Omega, bearing a striking resemblance to Dr. Chen, addressed the council directly. We are not here to conquer or to threaten. We are here to protect, to explore, and to push the boundaries of what's possible. Counselor Lyrax, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke up. His voice carried a note of awe, and was that fear? Fascinating. You've essentially created living, breathing parallel universes. The implications are staggering. Before anyone could respond, the station shook violently. Omega's three forms snapped back into a single entity, its armor reconfiguring for battle. They've breached the outer hull. We're out of time. As if summoned by those words, the chamber's main doors exploded inward. Through the smoke and debris emerged a squad of void-born soldiers, their shadowy forms seeming to devour the light around them. At their head strode a figure that radiated malevolence, the Void Imperium's commander. How kind of you to gather our prize in one place. The commander's voice was like gravel over steel. Surrender Omega to us, and we may let some of you live. Omega stepped forward, its armor pulsing with energy. You don't understand what I am. What we are. This isn't something you can simply take or control. The Void Commander laughed, a sound like shattering glass. Oh, but we do understand. More than you know. Why do you think we've come all this way? Omega is the key to our ascension, the final piece in our mastery over space and time itself. As the two forces faced off, the air in the chamber seemed to thicken. Reality itself appeared to warp and bend around Omega and the Voidborn. Kai, watching from behind an overturned console with Zara, felt a strange resonance within himself, as if something was awakening. Omega's voice carried a hint of surprise. You're not just after the technology. You're like us, a fusion of consciousness and machine, but twisted, corrupted. The Void Commander's form flickered, revealing glimpses of a being both organic and mechanical, consumed by void energy. We are what you could become, freed from the shackles of morality and physical form. Join us, and together we can reshape the universe itself. Never, Omega declared, its form splitting once again, this time into dozens of variations, each representing a different, potential future for humanity. What followed was a battle unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever witnessed. Omega's forms danced through the air, each moving with impossible speed and precision. They seemed to predict the Voidborn's attacks before they happened, countering with a dizzying array of advanced weaponry and martial arts. The Void soldiers fought back with equal ferocity, their shadowy forms twisting and reforming, immune to conventional attacks. Where Omega was light and possibility, They were darkness and entropy personified. As the battle raged, Kai felt something stirring within him. Fragments of memories that weren't his, or weren't his yet, flashed through his mind. He saw himself training, fighting, exploring the stars. He saw countless possible futures branching out before him. "Zora," he whispered, his voice trembling. I think I'm connected to them somehow. To Omega." Zora's eyes widened as she looked at him. "Kai, your eyes, they're glowing." Before Kai could respond, a stray blast from the battle struck near their hiding spot. As the debris settled, they found themselves face to face with a void-born soldier, its shadowy form looming over them. Time seemed to slow. Kai felt a surge of energy unlike anything he'd ever experienced. Without thinking, he raised his hand, and a burst of light erupted from his palm, driving the Voidborn back. The battle came to a sudden halt as all eyes turned to Kai. The Void Commander's voice was a mixture of surprise and hunger. "Impossible. The boy is an Omega seed, a living catalyst." Omega's prime form moved to stand protectively in front of Kai. "Now you see the truth. Omega isn't a weapon or a piece of technology. It's the next step in human evolution. And it can't be stolen or copied. It has to be awakened." The implications hung heavy in the air. The Galactic Council delegates, who had been cowering in fear, now looked at the humans with a mixture of awe and trepidation. This wasn't just about a super soldier or advanced technology. This was about the future of an entire species and possibly the galaxy itself. High Counselor Zixtera's voice cut through the tension. "Enough. This battle ends now. Void Imperium, you have attacked a Galactic Council station and threatened its delegates. Withdraw immediately, or face the combined might of the Council races." The Void Commander snarled, its form flickering between shadow and corrupted flesh. "This isn't over. The boy will be ours, and with him, the power to reshape reality itself." With a gesture, the Voidborn soldiers began to retreat, seeming to melt into the shadows. As the immediate threat receded, all eyes turned to Kai and the Omega beings surrounding him. The young essay contest winner who had dreamed of seeing the wonders of the galaxy now stood at the center of a cosmic drama, the key to humanity's future and possibly the fate of the entire universe. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her voice gentle but firm. "I think we have a lot to discuss." The Galactic Council chamber, battered and scarred from the battle, fell into a heavy silence. The true nature of Omega had been revealed, but the revelations had only opened the door to even greater mysteries and challenges. As humans and aliens alike grappled with the implications, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity's true strength. The aftermath of the battle left Nexus Prime in a state of controlled chaos. Emergency repair drones buzzed through the corridors, patching hull breaches and stabilizing systems. In the heart of the station, the Galactic Council chamber had been transformed into a makeshift command center, with representatives from various species huddled around holographic displays, assessing the damage and coordinating defense strategies. At the center of it all stood Kai, the unexpected linchpin in humanity's cosmic debut. The young essay contest winner looked pale and overwhelmed, his eyes still flickering with an inner light that marked him as something more than human. Dr. Chen approached him, her face a mask of concern and scientific curiosity. "Kai, how are you feeling? Any dizziness, nausea, unusual thoughts?" Kai shook his head, then paused. I can hear them. All of them. It's like a million voices whispering just at the edge of my mind." General Stone frowned. "Them? You mean the Omega entities?" "Not just them," Kai replied, his voice distant. "Everyone. Humans, aliens, even the station itself. It's all connected, all part of a vast network that I can almost see." Zara, who had been monitoring Kai's vital signs on a portable scanner, gasped. "His neural activity is off the charts. It's as if his brain is rewiring itself in real time." Before anyone could respond, High Counselor Zixtera's crystalline form pulsed with urgency. Humans, we need answers. What exactly is happening to the boy? And more importantly, what are the implications for galactic security? Dr. Chen took a deep breath, choosing her words carefully. Counselor, what we're witnessing is the awakening of humanity's true potential. Omega isn't just a super soldier program. It's the next step in our evolution as a species. The Omega Prime, its armor now in a more relaxed configuration, stepped forward. Allow me to explain. Humanity has always had the capacity for rapid adaptation and innovation. What we've done is unlock that potential on a fundamental level. As it spoke, the Omega Being's form shifted, showcasing various iterations of enhanced human abilities, from hyper-intelligence to physical prowess beyond imagination. But it's more than just individual enhancement, the Omega continued. We've tapped into the collective unconscious of our entire species. Every human, past and present, is connected through a quantum network of shared knowledge and experience. Counselor Lurax, his iridescent scales shimmering with barely contained excitement, interjected. Fascinating. You've essentially created a living, evolving database of human potential. But how does the boy factor into this? Kai, seeming to draw strength from the explanation, spoke up. I'm a catalyst, a focal point for all that human potential. Through me, Omega can manifest in the physical world. The chamber erupted in murmurs and exclamations as the implications sank in. Some delegates looked at Kai with awe, others with unmistakable fear. Counselor Drakthor's mandibles clicked rapidly. This is unprecedented. A species on the verge of such a monumental evolutionary leap, it could upset the entire balance of power in the galaxy. General Stone stepped forward, his voice firm. That's not our intention, Counselor. Omega, in all its forms, was created for exploration and defense. We want to join the galactic community, not conquer it. High Counselor Zixtera's form pulsed thoughtfully. Noble words, General, but can you guarantee that this power won't be misused? The Void Imperium clearly believes it can be weaponized. A tense silence fell over the chamber. It was Zora who broke it, her young voice carrying a wisdom beyond her years. Counselors, esteemed delegates, I think you're missing the point. Omega isn't a weapon to be controlled or a technology to be replicated. It's a manifestation of humanity's greatest strength, our diversity and our unity. She gestured to Kai and the Omega beings. Look at them. Each one represents a different potential, a different path. But they're all connected, all working together. That's what humanity brings to the galaxy. Not just one solution, but infinite possibilities. As if to illustrate her point, the Omega beings began to shift and merge, their forms blending into a dazzling display of light and energy. Kai gasped, his eyes widening as he felt himself being drawn into the manifestation. What happened next defied description. The assembled delegates watched in awe as Kai and the Omega entities seemed to merge with the very fabric of the station. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing not just Nexus Prime, but the entire surrounding sector of space. Kai's voice, now layered with the echoes of countless others, resonated through the chamber. This is what we offer the galaxy. Not conquest, not weapons, but understanding. The holographic display zoomed in on the Void Imperium's dreadnought, still lurking at the edge of the system. With a thought, Kai/Omega interfaced with the ship's systems, effortlessly bypassing its defenses. We see you, Kai/Omega declared, addressing the Void Imperium directly. We understand your fear, your hunger for power. But there's another way. The dreadnought's engines flared to life, but instead of attacking, the massive ship found itself enveloped in a cocoon of energy. The Void soldiers aboard cried out in a mixture of fear and awe as they felt their corrupted forms being purified, the Void energy that had twisted them slowly dissipating. Back in the council chamber, delegates watched in stunned silence as the Void Imperium threat was neutralized not through violence, but through understanding and transformation. As the display faded and Kai separated from the Omega manifestation, he stumbled, caught by Dr. Chen and Zora. The young man looked exhausted but exhilarated. Did we do it? Did we stop them? High Counselor Zixtura's voice was filled with wonder. Young human, I believe you've done far more than simply stop an attack. You've shown us a glimpse of what's possible when a species truly embraces its potential. General Stone, his usual gruff demeanor softened by awe, nodded in agreement. This is what we've been trying to tell you. Humanity's strength isn't in weapons or technology. It's in our ability to adapt, to empathize, to find solutions where others see only problems. Dr. Chen stepped forward, addressing the council with renewed confidence. Esteemed delegates, we came here seeking membership in your galactic community, but perhaps we were thinking too small. What we offer is a new way of looking at the universe itself. Counselor Lyrax, his eyes gleaming with the possibilities, spoke up. I propose we not only accept Earth's petition for membership, but that we establish a new division within the Council, one dedicated to exploring the potential of Omega and its implications for all our species. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Even Counselor Drakthor, who had been so skeptical, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. Perhaps there is wisdom in this. If humans can turn an enemy like the Void Imperium into allies, imagine what other conflicts could be resolved. High Counselor Zixtera's crystalline form pulsed with a warm light. Then it is decided. Earth will join the Galactic Council, and with it, a new era of exploration and understanding will begin. As the chamber erupted in applause and excited discussion, Kai turned to his fellow humans, a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration on his face. So, does this mean I get extra credit for my essay? Laughter broke out among the human delegation, a moment of levity after the intense events they had experienced. Dr. Chen put her arm around Kai's shoulders, smiling proudly. I think it's safe to say you've gone well beyond extra credit, Kai. You've helped write a new chapter in human history. Zara grinned, punching Kai lightly on the arm. Just wait until we tell everyone back on Earth. You're going to be a legend. As the humans celebrated, and the council delegates began to discuss the logistics of Earth's membership, the Omega Prime approached Kai. Its form shifted, resembling an older, wiser version of the young man. This is just the beginning, Kai. The road ahead won't be easy, but remember, you're never alone. The strength of humanity is with you, always. Kai nodded, standing a little straighter. He looked out at the diverse assembly of alien species, then back at his fellow humans. In that moment, he understood the true meaning of his essay topic, humanity's place in the cosmos. It wasn't about finding a place among the stars, but about bringing the stars together, bridging differences, and unlocking the potential not just of humanity, but of all sentient life. As Nexus Prime continued its orbit around the neutron star, its crystalline surfaces now reflecting not just starlight, but the bright promise of a new future, Kai realized that humanity's journey to the stars had only just begun, and he, along with every other human, would help write the next chapter of this cosmic adventure. The ultimate super soldier, it turned out, wasn't a weapon or a single extraordinary individual. It was humanity itself, united in its diversity, adaptable in the face of adversity, and ever reaching for the stars.